And Rana Ayyub joins us now from Mumbai. Rana, good to have you on the program. Your profile in the New Yorker covers a lot of ground, right? There's Ayodhya, there's military crackdown and clampdown, and the scrapping of autonomy in Kashmir. We have crime and punishment in Gujarat. We have the Gujarat riots. We have the personality of Narendra Modi. And all of this seems to sort of converge on a singularity or a single theme. It's Modi's India and the direction things are going in. After hearing the conversation of the preceding 15 minutes, do you also put that in the same basket?
Hi, Imran. Great to be on the show. I was listening with great amusement, the two gentlemen who were on the show, especially the BJP spokesperson and his arguments on citizenship. And that's essentially what's happening in India right now. The brazen communalization and the attack on the Indian constitution. Because, I mean, just 3 days ago, Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, hailed Baba Sahib Ambedkar, who wrote the Indian Constitution. And the Indian Constitution also essentially says that nobody in India can be discriminated on the basis of religion, caste, gender, sex. Today, what's happening in India is a culmination of Narendra Modi's majoritarian politics, which he has been practicing since he was the provincial minister of Gujarat, where the Gujarat genocide of 1,000 Muslims took place under his watch. There were extrajudicial murder of Muslims. From that time to this day, today, when the Citizenship Amendment Bill was passed in the Indian Parliament, Mr. Modi is going from strength to strength. He has become a leader of anti-Muslim bigots across the country, and that's what he aspired to be. He has never minced his words really on whose leader he essentially wants to be. When his Interior Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, who tabled the bill in the Indian Parliament today, has gone behind bars in the past for extrajudicial murder of Muslims, for fake encounter of Muslims. Mr. Shah has famously called migrants as termites who need to be thrown in the Bay of Bengal. Mr. Modi has endorsed that viewpoint. So this is the world's largest democracy, and Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are leading India to a point of no return.
Yeah, and
that's essentially the
right.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend people read the piece in the New Yorker by Dexter Filkins, because Amit Shah is heavily featured in the top half of the piece. He's the Minister of Home Affairs. As you mentioned, he was in your crosshairs, or in the crosshairs of your investigative journalism, in the crosshairs of the authorities because of extrajudicial killings, especially that of Sohrabuddin Sheikh, a controversial case. He said regarding this bill, why do we need this bill today? After independence, if Congress had not done partition on the basis of religion, then today we would not have needed this bill. Congress did partition on the basis of religion. What's interesting for me is that to him it seems, well, way back when Pakistan was created for Muslims, well, it's their fault then. We're just creating India for Hindus. Is that as clear of an example as you're going to get of the kind of ideology behind his thinking?
Absolutely, Imran. I mean, today, Mr. Amit Shah has, ever since they have come to power since 2014, they have been stoking this majority victimhood, wherein Mr. Shah and Modi have made 82% of Indians feel victims in their own country. And there's been resentment since the partition of India, where Hindus believe that, Muslims have been given a piece of land in Pakistan, so they should not demand equal share of rights in democratic India. And that's something that the right wing has espoused, and that's something that is the fundamental of the Indian right wing, which is from the RSS and Mr. Modi and Shah, who claim allegiance to the RSS. So today what they did in the Indian Parliament was basically cater to the victimhood of the Indian majority, saying you have the first right to all the resources in the country, and Muslims will essentially be second-class citizens. Not just the Citizenship Amendment Bill, but also look at the National Register of Citizens, which you want to implement across the country, wherein already millions of people in the northeastern states of India have been dismissed because they did not have the necessary documents, or despite the fact that they have been staying in India for the last 6 decades. But you look at the Ayodhya judgment, the way it is being celebrated. Every decision, now the government wants to bring in the Uniform Civil Code. Every decision that this government has been taking, every bill that the government wants to pass in the Indian Parliament is anti-Muslim in essence and spirit. So you are basically telling the Indian Hindus and the larger majority population that we promised to come to power, telling you that this is going to be your country, and today we have given you your country. Pakistan was a Muslim country and India is a Hindu country. This is not what it was. Gandhi and Nehru envisaged India as a democracy, as a secular democracy. Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah are today making India as a Hindu Rashtra, as envisaged by the Indian right wing.
Rana, how do you deal with the hate? I just reached out to you on Twitter after reading the profile in the New Yorker saying you want to come onto the show, and I got a taste of the world of hate that you deal with. A lot of threats of violence, a lot of complaints that I'm a terrorist, a lot of sexually frustrated men making rape threats and all sorts of insinuations. How do you deal with it? Does it get you down?
Not at all. In fact, it confirms or validates, my apprehension and that the fact that, one, how dare a woman speak out? How dare a Muslim woman speak up or speak out against the Modi dispensation? In fact, most of the times these trolls humor me because there is absolutely no rationale in their trolling. It also, the kind of trolling that I receive and the kind of hate that I receive is kind of it basically reflects on the fact that my work is hurting them where it should hurt, and that they really are worried about my reports and they really do read my reports. So basically, their hatred is coming from a place of actually validating my work. So I know some days it can be really daunting, especially the rape and death threats for which the United Nations Special Rapporteurs wrote to the Indian government to protect my safety. Of course, the Indian government did not react to it, but this is like a part of daily life for me. This is the path that I've chosen for me, and the work that I do will have consequences. This is the consequence of the work that I'm doing, and I'm willing to live with it.
Rana Ayyub, great pleasure having you on the Newsmakers. I wish you all the best and looking forward to having you back on the program very soon. Thanks so much.